Welcome to Leaders Lead Podcast. Are you ready to conquer your challenges and achieve greatness? Join us as we dive into inspirational stories of industry leaders who have overcome adversity and reached new heights. Get ready for electrifying insights and captivating conversations that will ignite your passions for success. This is your go-to show for empowerment, growth, and leadership. Buckle up. Leaders Lead Podcast is here to take you on a transformational ride.
Introducing Simply Edit Pro's AI avatar content services. From training videos to branded social media content, monetized courses, Simply Edit Pro's AI avatars are transforming the way content is created. What used to take months can now be done in a matter of weeks with Simply Edit Pro. Imagine having a year's worth of highly intentional content ready to engage your audience. Our clients are seeing results faster and generating revenue from their content in record time. Spend more time connecting with your audience and less time worrying about content creation. Contact Simply Edit Pro today to learn more about our AI avatar content services.
Hey, what's going on? This is Tony Taylor, and welcome to Leaders Lead the Podcast. I am super excited. Today, we don't have a special guest for the podcast. It's just me. So it's going to be a little bit different. No script, just real and raw coming from my heart to your ears and hopefully to your heart as well. I want to share something really important. There's going to be a new direction for the podcast, but I'm going to get to that here in a bit. I just want to reflect on why I started Leaders Lead the Podcast. I had just left corporate and was completely lost about building a business. And I'll tell you, some unexpected things came up in my life, and I've never really shared this with anybody, but I was going through a bit of a depression. Can you imagine that? I left corporate America to become a motivational speaker, and things were going so amazing. And I ran into a depression. I had lost somebody really important to me in my life. And then another set of circumstances happened with life. Folks started not feeling well, and we had a bunch of different issues that I had to tend to. So life just changed a bit for me to where I could not travel as much as I could before. And I found myself doing what many people do when they get put in these situations, when the universe brings you to crossroad, so to speak. And I chose the decision to not only start a podcast, but use the podcast for a business, use the podcast to talk about some of the things that was going on in my life, use the podcast to gain mentors. And that's exactly what I did with Leaders Lead the Podcast. I bought some of the world's most incredible and top leaders on this show, folks that you would easily spend $100,000 just for mentorship with them. I had them come on the podcast and they mentor me. It was so amazing. Those folks include Chris Doe, Master in Storytelling and Scale in Business. That was the name of that episode. Evan Carmichael, he is a YouTube genius. He has over, I think, like 4 million subscribers on YouTube. He's an introvert. That's why I bought him on the show, because that was something that I really resonated with. Eric Huberman. I've had David Meltzer on the show. I've had mayors and senators, industry leaders, just some really incredible people, right? And before I get to the change that I'm going to be making, I'll tell you some more guests that I got coming on the show that's getting ready to drop. Coming to the show here soon, we have Mr. Tim Draper. Tim Draper is a billionaire investor. If I'm not mistaken, he backed Tesla back in the day. I want to say in Twitter, early investor in Skype, and he is an absolute crypto giant. This dude is, last time I checked, he is the holder of one of the biggest crypto portfolios in the world. And the thing that I like about him the most is that he's a genuine good dude. I mean, he is a freaking billionaire that's coming on the show. I think last time I looked, it was worth like $4 billion. I just sent the dude a message and was like, "I'd love to have you come on my podcast to learn more about investments, and I want to just hear your story." And he wrote me back and he said, "Okay, cool, come on the show. Okay, cool, I'll come on the show." And I'm just like, "What?" I couldn't believe it. I was super super excited. Somebody else just coming on the show, Alan Weiss. He is known as the rock star of consulting, and he is going to come on the show. He's going to teach us how to scale a business at the most and absolute highest level. He's coming on the show because if many of you guys should know that I own Speak University. I also do some consulting for podcasting, and he is the man when it comes to consulting. I would say a renaissance man. Everything about him I like was cool. From the very first message that I sent him, he was already giving me some insight on how to make my business a little bit more personable. Him and his book, The Bible for Consultant, is the one that really opened up my eyes and let me know and see that you don't need a big team to be successful. It's one of those things that if you feel like you need to have a big team in business, there's something going on with your ego. So we'll get into a little bit about that. Somebody else that's coming on the show, Krish O'Mara Venjera. She is the CEO of Global Refuge. She is a powerhouse and an advocate for immigration reform. Global Refuge, the company that she works for, is a non for profit, and it is one of the biggest immigration non for profits in the United States. They're helping so many different people. I interviewed Krish way back before the election started. One of my biggest goals was to get it going, before the election, so to let people hear and know what's going on within the population of immigrants, some of the concerns and worries that are going on in that world. But we weren't able to get the podcast out in time, but the podcast is going to drop here really, really soon. So be on the lookout for that. If you're not subscribed to the podcast, go ahead and subscribe now. I'll probably say that again towards the end. But this episode is so crucial right now. I shared a post on Facebook and LinkedIn the other day where there's over 6,000 migrants that are just lost in the system, when it comes to them trying to get to this country and do the right thing. And all of a sudden they can't, right? So they're having some real big issues with making that happen. And Chris is on the forefront of doing it. And yeah, I'm just really, really grateful to have had the opportunity to interview her. She's an amazing person. She worked for the Obama administration. She was a big part of the immigration reform for Obama and Michelle Obama. So that's going to be an incredible episode that's coming up. Dave Champagne, in my opinion, our next guest, he is a genius in showing us how to build meaningful relationships, right? And he's a real estate agent and owner of a team here in Washington. I believe he lives in Tenino. I actually met Dave at a meditation retreat. One of the most coolest and most genuine guys that I've ever met. I've heard nothing but really, really good things about him. But the thing and the reason why I wanted to bring him on the show was because of his networking genius, right? So through a mutual friend of ours, he was saying, "Oh man, Dave is just doing some amazing things when it comes to his business and when it comes to networking." And he has this really cool group of networkers. They actually called me and did an interview and they asked for 3 references. And I was just like, oh my God, that is so cool. There's one thing, I don't hate a lot of things, but one thing that just really annoys me. And, there's something I can say that I hate. I hate when people say, hey, Tony, I think that you should talk to so and so, or so and so. I told so and so that they should talk to you. I'm always saying, why? Why do you think that we should be connected? And they just say, oh, no, I just think there's some synergy there. What I'm always thinking, well, what the heck does that mean? What does that mean? Tell me exactly why you think that we should be connected. So we're going to talk to Dave Champagne about that in the future coming episode. He actually just confirmed not too long ago. I think it was a couple days ago. So I'm really, really, really looking forward to connecting with him, not only with just the networking, but Dave has gone through some really tough challenges. And I'm gonna not necessarily speak on the challenges that he's had to overcome because I'm not sure what he's willing to share. But if he is open enough to talk about some of the things, I think that, which I'm sure he is, because he's a really good dude. I think it's going to be very beneficial to a lot of people that are working and overcoming and still have the responsibility of just life. And Dave is the epitome of that, and I just can't wait to have him on the show. I already know what I'm going to say to him during the introduction of why I'm so inspired by him. So yeah, please, please, please be on the lookout for those upcoming episodes. They're going to be coming the next few weeks. I'm excited about dropping them. These are leaders who are making a real impact, right? A real impact. So if you're wanting to continue to make an impact, you're wanting to go to the next level, be on the lookout for those upcoming episodes because they are going to be so good. So the shift. Hopefully I did a good job and telling you all or promoting this episode. Hopefully I made it a little bit suspenseful and you're thinking, oh man, what is Tony going to tell us? What is this announcement? Why this shift? And I'll tell you, throughout my journey and the things that I've shared on this podcast already, I it would be inauthentic if I were to tell you that there weren't days, that there weren't times where I thought about giving up, where I thought that I wasn't good enough, where I thought about going back to work, where I lived with shame, blame, and guilt of doing the work and trying to be successful. And there's only one word really that has helped me, right? That what I one word that I can think that will form all of this up, and that is the word resilience. That's the word resilience. And with saying that, the show isn't going to be just about entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship and talking about this company is in this place and this company's doing amazing stuff and it's innovative and all of that. We're really going to dig deep and we're going to talk about leadership in every area of life. If business comes in it, that's cool. But personal growth, health, and how we really navigate today's world. That's why I'm expanding the conversation and we're going to get into things such as mental health, mental strength, and meditation. We're going to talk about plant medicine and psychedelics. As a matter of fact, I have tomorrow Nina Eisel. I'm actually going to interview her. She is a plant medicine facilitator and integrator. We're going to talk about this new wave of folks doing psychedelics, trying it for their mental health, trying it to get rid of physical ailments. Folks with chronic diseases are getting cured. And one thing that a lot of people don't necessarily think about is after the fact. And that's where Nina Eisel come into play. So we're going to talk about that coming on the podcast, overcoming trauma and personal growth. That's been a really big thing for me. Some of us, we're walking around and we don't even know that we've been through trauma because it's all been so normal. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to bring in experts, doctors, just some amazing people all over the world that are really making a difference. And one of the things that's really close to my heart, and I would be doing myself and the things that I've gone through, a terrible disjustice if I didn't talk about this, but supporting caregivers and families. That is going to be one of the things that's going to be on the forefront. You're somebody that is working and supporting and caregiving for somebody that needs a little bit extra support. You know how hard that can be sometimes. And all of this, right, that I'm talking about, the mental health, the meditation, the plant medicine, and overcoming the trauma, personal growth, and supporting caregivers and family, all of this really ties into the people, loving and supporting people, loving and supporting yourself, right? So that's the direction that we're going. And I want to put something on your mind. Leaders don't just rise, they learn, they evolve, and they lead with resilience. And that is going to be the focus of the podcast. I've really been diving deep when it comes to resilience. And I think about this quote all the time by John Maxwell: a leader knows the way, goes the way, and show the way. And so while I'm going the way, I'm gonna show you the way by way of some of the experts that I've reached out to help me with this next phase of my life. And that's healing. That's dealing with some of the traumas and learning and really understanding what that's all about. And that's a really big mission and a really big goal, not for me, but me and my wife. For those of you that don't know, we're both in school right now to be counselors. We'll be done probably in the next year and a half or so. And that's going to be our mission. Our practice is going to be supporting caregivers and family. And I'm also going to still support people that have a fear of public speaking and different anxieties and depressions, pretty much the stuff that I've had to work through, right? That is my way of giving back. That will be the thing that we will do until the day that we die, is supporting those folks that are overcoming that. So what this means for you and how you can engage. If you're struggling and you need clarity, if you want help to keep pushing forward, this podcast is going to be for you. If today's message resonated with you, do me a big favor, share it with somebody that needs to hear it. If there's some lessons that you've heard about entrepreneurship in some of the previous episodes, share that, because this stuff is going to be still for, entrepreneurs that need some support, right? That we got all the goodies you can learn. And trust me, there's a bunch of different chapters to this book, and we've already wrote the chapters that you need to survive as an entrepreneur. But going forward, we're going into the heart. So there's something for everybody on this podcast. Share it with somebody that needs it. If you're listening to this right now, I need you to do me a big favor. I want you to make sure that you subscribe to the podcast, leave a review. It really helps to grow the show. If you're thinking about starting your own podcast, I definitely love the help. That's one of my endeavors. It's not just about helping people overcome their fear of public speaking or giving them a mic and showing them how to make money on a stage. I am really, really serious about helping people build their own stage. It's something that we've been doing for the last couple of years. Has showed us really good success. We have some clients right now that are the new and most noteworthy podcast, just starting off with a couple hundred freaking subscribers. It's going crazy. If that sounds like something you want to do, you got a message, something's on your heart that you want to get out, you want to help, you want to support people. If you have a business and you need more attention to that business, you need to build your own stage, I want you to do me a favor. Email me at info@tonytaylor.inspires.com. I would love, love, love to support you and help you build that stage. We definitely can do it together. So from idea all the way to conception, and I'll give you a monetization plan so that you can actually make money off of your podcast, right? So more incredible episodes are coming. I really appreciate you for being here, and let's get leading.
Imagine having a virtual team that works tirelessly to bring your ideas to life.
Thank you for allowing me to travel with you on your journey. I want to say thank you for the things that you're doing, the things that you've done, and the things that you're going to do, because I know that you're going to do something truly amazing. Remember, I'm here to stand by you as you chase your dreams, lead with greatness, and continue to make a difference. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so that you can be notified every time we drop a new episode. I'll see you next time on Leaders Lead the Podcast. Peace.